Good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well because unfortunately I have some bad news. You see, right now there's a grandmother who is fighting to keep her vision as she suffers multiple system. And to make matters worse, that is only a small sample of the issues facing our fellow human beings. And for the most part, it goes unnoticed. See, day in and day out, we live our lives, enjoying our luxuries, taking it all for granted while others are suffering, in some cases even dying. But there is hope. Because you see, every year, millions of dollars are being poured into foreign aid, and countless men and women are flying overseas, building African villages, giving immunizations to the sick, just doing anything they can to raise the standard of living for the poor. With good Samaritans like these, there's absolutely no way these injustices can continue, right? Wrong. Because the issues I bring to your attention today are not in the jungles of Africa, and they are definitely not in the deserts of the Middle East. Instead, they are in the streets of Chicago. They're in the rural communities of South Carolina, and they are right outside the gates of our beloved institution. Now, as a country, we have always had a history of helping those in need. In 2006, for example, the U.S. military had plans in place for 556 humanitarian aid operations in 99 different countries. Before this, our military helped orchestrate one of the greatest humanitarian aid operations of all time with the Berlin airlifts. And when you consider the Peace Corps and everything they've done to better the planet since they were formed, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt that the U.S. has always been a friend to the friendless. And this desire for change is not limited to government forces either. I'm pretty sure all of us here remember the wild success of the Coney 2012 campaign last year, and how it somehow motivated every college student in America to cry out against the injustices done to those poor children in Uganda. And I'll admit it, after watching the very well done video, I was very well fired up, and I would have gone to Africa myself if he paid for the plane ticket. But when the fast decided, I realized something. How can so many people be so motivated to help a child they will never even see a day in their life, let alone even know if the kid exists or not, if they won't even lift a finger to help those struggling to survive in their own communities? Just to give you some background about myself, I have what some of you may call a Superman complex. If I see someone being wronged or mistreated, it just does not set right with me until that problem is fixed. But thankfully, before I go ripping through all of my good shirts and trying to leap tall buildings, I have people like my mother and my girlfriend who always remind me that I cannot help others with their problems until I learn to help myself and solve my own issues. By the same token, I would like to think that those of you in here that are parents would never take care of someone else's child before you take care of your own, would you? I hope not. But yet we as a country are guilty of both. We have made it our point to fix the world's issues while the American dream is out of reach for so many within our own borders. If we ever intend to live up to the ideals this country is founded on, then we must make sure that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are available to all of our citizens. If not, I hate to say it, but we're living in more of a hypocrisy than a democracy. And now some of you may not agree with me. Some of you may say, well, Lance, you make some very good points. Hey, this is America. Anybody can make it. It just takes a little hard work and dedication. That's the American dream. And I hear you, but consider this. How can you expect anyone to achieve their dreams when their life itself is a nightmare? How can you expect that child growing up in the south side of Chicago to even think of graduating high school, going on to college, having a life, a career, a family, and all of that, when 7-year-olds are being cut down by gang violence? And that's not limited to big cities either. Just a few years ago in my hometown of Walterboro, which is just 45 miles away, an infant was killed in a drive-by shooting on a family cookout. An infant. And just 2 weeks ago when I was home on spring break, my little cousin had to come home to his apartment complex riddled with bullets from another drive-by shooting. If things happen a little bit different, I could be at a funeral right now instead of this contest. How can we expect our communities to uplift themselves when so many of its members are dying of HIV, heart disease, diabetes, diseases that are otherwise manageable at a much more alarming rate than their counterparts on the good side of the tracks, for no other reason than that they have the misfortune of living in a medically underserved area? And how in the world, with all the medical schools, all the health career schools, all the technology this country has, is there even a medically underserved area in 2013? But yet just 2 years ago in 2011, the entire state of South Carolina was medically underserved. How could we ever expect our children to continue to keep America as an intellectual force in the world when education firms like Pearson are ranking the United States 17th out of 40 in the developed world for education? How can we even expect our own state to keep up with the rest of the union when the American Legislative Exchange Council is ranking South Carolina dead last for student performance? But where's the viral video for these people? If any of you are familiar with the movie Boys in the Hood, you might remember how at the end of it, one of the characters makes this following statement when his brother is shot and killed and the news has nothing to say about it. He simply says that either they don't know, they don't show, or they don't care about what's going on. You know, and as I think of these issues and I watch TV and I see the only things really being brought out are divisive politics and celebrity gossip, I often come to the same conclusion. Either people don't know, the news doesn't show, or they just don't care. Now, I've told you before that the things I'm presenting to you today are only a small sample of all the issues plaguing our country. And the beauty of America is that we have minorities of different races, creeds, sexual orientations, you name it. You have your pick of what fight you want to get in on. And you don't have to fly halfway across the world to do it either. Just weekends at a community center or a quick search on volunteer.org will show you exactly what you're looking for. Now, we can still be Superman. We can still save the world. But we have to save ourselves first. So today I challenge you. You know, you've been shown, but do any of you even care? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Braye.
Yeah.